Hello. We have to talk about decks. The most hyped product of 2023. But before we get into it, if you're brand new here, I'm FiddlinJonny. This is my fiddle channel and magic product review. I'm a little more serious than normal because I want to be real serious about this review. Before I get into the review, I'm going to play a song. And the way I always open up this channel, this one's for Lloyd. For those who know Lloyd, I think they'll appreciate this one. Here we go. I thought Lloyd might like a little bit of Mary Had a Little Lamb. That's all in fun. I hope you enjoyed that, Lloyd. All right, so look, you are seeing a bunch of reviews out there about decks. And they are all over the board, which I think should probably tell you a little bit of information. I'm going to give you my burning, honest take on this. And some of the reviews out there have been super glowing. I'm going to warn you now. Mine's not super glowing. Stick around. And let's get into decks. All right, everyone. Let's get into this review because this is a biggie. This is a doozy. And I've been holding off on doing my review of decks for a couple of reasons. First, I wasn't even sure I was going to review it. I purchased it as soon as it became available. And there were so many other folks doing their reviews and strong opinions that I was like, do I really need to jump into the fray of this? And it would be smart as a YouTuber for me to have put out my review on the very first week that it came out because it gets more clicks, and reviewers, we love to get those clicks and views. That really helps. I didn't want to do that because I felt like I really wanted to take the time with this index and put it through its paces and have a really fair understanding of what it's capable of, quite frankly. So that's why I am probably one of the last to review decks in terms of my peers, I think, who have been out there and reviewing decks. And of course, since then, it seems like, damn, there's a lot of controversy and turmoil in the Magic community around this one. So I thought, look, as a Magic community therapist, I'm here to help and see if I can't resolve some of those issues for you, as well as a reviewer. Okay, so I'm operating under an assumption many of you have already watched many other reviews of decks. And so I'm gonna not repeat a lot of things that probably people have already said about what is an index. So, and what's on this project. I'm gonna try to keep to what I think are the most salient pieces of this release that I think you will care about. But let's take a brief moment. Maybe I'll insert right here a quick demo of me just using decks and going into the pocket and grabbing it. So hopefully you're watching that right now. Decks is an index. And that means that it provides you the ability to have within your pocket, and in this case a single pocket, 48 cards. You're not going to have all 52 cards, but you'll have 48 cards. So it's a 48 card index. I'll talk about my opinions about that a little bit later. And what it means is this is not a trick or a routine that you are purchasing, while that comes with it. You're essentially purchasing a tool that allows you to have access to all of the cards in the deck to choose how you want to then create routines with that tool in play. That's what it is. Now, if you've never used an index, I freaking love indexes, and just there's so much possibility you can do with them. And if you get used to working with an index, you see how it can help you like when you're in trouble doing card tricks. And it's versatile. It's great for mentalism as well, using predictions and envelopes and everything else that will fit into your index. So that's a little bit about that. I can talk a little bit about what you're going to get, but you know, every other reviewer has done that. I think at the end of the day, the thing to know is that you're going to get the index, which I'm going to share with you here. And I'm only sharing it now because Lloyd has shared it on his channel and has shown what the index looks like. But you're going to get a 5 volumes of video tutorial. That comes out somewhere between 8 and 9 hours of content. You're going to get live performances. You're going to get a chance to see a new DEX user learning it. That goes for about 35 minutes. You're going to get downloadable PDF instructional files. You're going to get a downloadable PDF assets. And what you're going to get. What you're not going to get, a deck of cards. You must provide your own deck of cards. So, deck of cards not included. I'm going to go through some of my normal stuff and then just chat with you. But like, the first question I always ask is like, well, how are the instructions? In my opinion, the instructions are the best part of this release, which is an important point because I hope the decks would be the best part, but I do think that the instructional video was the best. Now, there are others out there who have been critical of the 8 to 9 hours of tutorial, and I just think that's petty and hogwash. While we can quibble around the edges, around droning on and being repetitive, and I think that would be fair and accurate. But I will take any day of the week more tutorial rather than less tutorial or not enough tutorial. I think the gold in this release is in the tutorial. And someone who says it only teaches 3 or 4 effects, that's just not accurate. How would you treat just 4 effects essentially over that many hours? So you're going to get lots of different routines and lots of different ideas, and I honestly think they're just freaking awesome routines. I think for anyone who is new to an index, if you don't like the index decks, you're going to get a lot out of this tutorial and maybe eventually find a different index that you really like or build your own index to fit your needs. All right, that's my thoughts there on the instructions. Let's talk about what I think is the single most important part of this release, and it is the index itself. So I'm going to show you the index. All right, I'm only showing this now because Lloyd has revealed it. And let me just say, and this goes to Murphy's, this goes to Lloyd, this goes to Javier. In my opinion, and again, it's my opinion, index is a tool and it's not a routine. And because it's a tool, and if I'm paying $75 for a tool, I want to see what my tool looks like in advance. I kind of think it's poppycock that you haven't shown the index prior. I just don't think that's good. I think for magicians who are looking for a tool, and we already know what it does or is capable of, and you've demonstrated that in the teasers for these, is that, okay, go ahead, just show me. Show me the tool in advance of me dropping $75 for it. That's strong opinion. I can understand and respect why there would be choices not to do so, but in the chair that I sit in, if I'm dropping that much money, show me the tool. All right, here's the tool. I'm gonna bring it up close so folks can see it and look at it. And then you can start to get a sense about what are some of the things that people are talking about. Now, the rubber bands I've put on, mine is in still what I would say near perfect condition. Some people have complained that it has come apart at this seam right here, and that the solution is to put a rubber band on it. Mine's perfect. It's fine. It's no problem. But this is the index. Or, in this case, this is DEX. Now, some people have complained that it's made out of vinyl, and they have explained in the tutorial why they chose vinyl over some of their earlier prototypes. and I think most reviewers would agree that one of the best parts on the instructional video is the part where they go over the prototypes that were created over the last 2 to 3 years before finally coming down to this design. Some of the nice things about this design is that it is tapered at both ends. And because it's tapered at both ends, it should not create as much of a bulge in your pocket. It certainly will here at the most thickest part, but it, in pocket will resemble closer, in my opinion, to a wallet. Now, I've heard other Magic reviewers out there, it's like, why would you ever put your wallet in your front pocket or something bulging in the front pocket? I have only ever put my wallet in my front pocket, so I'm used to having sort of what would look like in my front pocket a wallet, because that's where I always carry my wallet. When I put this into my own pocket, it does not look overly bulgy, does not create any sort of suspicion, and is just fine. Now, it looks different depending on which pants I wear, but the pants that I wear, where this works best, it's almost invisible. All right, so I'll also point out another thing about the Gimmick that I thought was innovative, but for me, does not work great. And it's difficult to explain this. There is a beveled system in each one of these pockets, so that when you're in your pocket and you're trying to find your card, because of the bevel, it allows you to, by feel, sort of click on each one of these and know whether you have clubs, hearts, spades, or diamonds. I have found in the real world, when I'm in my pocket, doing so makes it a challenge. Sorry, it would be clicking this way for them. That's the way the bevel works on that bottom one. So I love the beveled idea, and you're not going to hear anything about the beveling in the ad copy because they probably feel like that reveals too much. I love the idea of the bevel, but in practice and in my pocket, I'm yet to find that the bevel works well enough or is exaggerated enough for me to be able to comfortably every single time grab those cards, bevel through them, and know which, or utilize that step system essentially to see that it works. All right, that's it. Let me sort of bring this as close to the camera without losing focus so you can really see what this looks like. And this is the place where people have said that it's coming unglued. I don't have any issue with that. And I put this into my pocket every single day, morning, and then take it out at the end of the day because I really want to see and put it through its paces. And if I want to perform, I've got it ready to go all the time. So that is Dex right there. Let's talk about the fact that it's a 48 card index. So people have complained it's only a 48 card index. Why didn't they advertise it as a 48 card index? I just think that's just nuts in my point of view. Look, if you want to hold out the aces, they of course talk in the tutorial about, you know, people often pick aces, so they'll in the tutorial talk about like, pick any card, don't pick the aces because everyone always picks the aces. I think that's a fair way to go. However, if you want the aces in play, I just put the aces in my other pockets, or as they teach in the tutorial, there's a way to put them in here. I don't love personally putting them in the index. I'm just happy to put them in my other pockets and distribute them that way. I still have quick, fast access to the aces, and it's, for me, it's just a no deal, and I feel like it's quibbling and sort of missing the point of the index. So, but it is a 48 card index. Let's talk about the glue. And what I care about the glue is, should this come apart at the very end here, and the solution is to put a rubber band on it, there's a couple questions I have. Does it still function if it comes unglued and I put the rubber band on it, or I bowl clip or something on here? And the answer is yes. It still functions just fine. I don't find any problem with that. And they chose a softer glue on here because it sounded like when they talked about harder glues created some more problems, and going with the softer glue was better. I take them at their word. They've taken time with it. However, if I'm spending $75 US, I expect it to not fall apart. I appreciate it, gentlemen, the choices and the difficult decisions that you made, Javier and Lloyd. But the truth is at $75, I don't want something that comes like, hey, it's going to come apart at this seam and here's the solution, a rubber band. Just doesn't feel right to me. I know that the argument could be made that it is, you fix it with a rubber band and it still functions, and that's right. And if mine breaks, and maybe it will eventually, I don't know, I'll still continue to use it. I just figured at this price point it would be nice to see if there could have been a solution where it does not come apart. I think some people have said it feels a little cheap. Yeah, it feels a little cheap, but I don't care. Does it do the job? That's all that really matters. And if it does the job, then that's the most important point. All right, which really brings me to if it works. Here I'm going to give you, everyone who is thinking about purchasing this, if you already purchased it, you know these things. If you're thinking about purchasing this, just anticipate you will need to put in hours of practice. 1 hour practice is not probably going to be enough for most. In fact, I would say there's going to be outliers, and some will get it right away and be able to get the cards and it's easy peasy, and we'll look at FiddlinJonny and going, what the heck is he talking about? I suspect for almost everyone, certainly most, you will spend hours before I would say you should go out in public and perform this for people. It is challenging. That doesn't make it bad. It just is telling you what is true. I have found that I have needed to put in hours and hours of practice. And when I'm talking hours and hours of practice, 5 hours of practice, probably at bare minimum, before wanting to go out and perform. And I'm not even sure if 5 hours is enough. Maybe it takes 10 hours. At the end of the day, if you're going to get proficient with this index, you can anticipate you're going to need to put in hours and hours. We have seen through demonstration through both Lloyd and Javier that it works, and that they're able to find their cards in an average of 3.48 seconds or 3.47 seconds. Some cards take longer than others, and so it does the job as advertised, but it will take hours and hours of practice. If you're not willing to put in the practice, it is not for you. I guarantee you will be frustrated when you get this. I'll add one other thing to this element of it, and it's critical and is the piece that I have yet to overcome. So I put in the hours of practice, I performed it in public, and I can say personally, I do not yet have 100% confidence when I'm pulling out the card that I have the correct card. I am hoping over time, with more hours of practice, I will get to close to 100%, maybe even 100%. But just being brutally honest, I'm not at 100%. And so I think that's a couple elements. I think I need more practice, and this index for me, I don't have 100% confidence that I'm always going to get the card. So you have to take that. That's my experience to date. I hope that changes. I hope it goes up to 100% for me. I suspect, based upon my past experience with indexes, is that I know which cards and which sections of the index are more challenging for me than other sections. When that card is called out, I know that I will need to spend extra time and focus in my pocket getting that card. And I hope with time I'll get the confidence. But right now, I cannot say, I cannot give this review 100% confidence that I'm always going to get the right card. I have found, this is too where it comes to practice, I have found that in jeans, and I think this is important, it does not work for me in jeans. I've got jeans that are not skinny jeans, but strike me as just normal jeans. I have less room in my jean pant pockets to fumble around and find the card. I can't perform this with jeans. Or I guess I could say I could, but I think at this point it would look obvious that I'm digging around and doing something in my pocket. I found these work great in looser fitting pants. So I have khakis that, which you might have seen a demo are perfect for this because I have more room in them and I can grab the card. I have more room in my pocket to work with it. When I'm wearing shorts and they're baggier, it's great, no problem. I personally had a problem in my jeans and was not wearing skinny jeans. I would say I'm just wearing normal jeans. But your takeaway here is when you first get it, if you get it, try it in different pants pockets to find the pair of pants that you would be performing this in with comfort and with ease. And I found that it's not good for me in small in jeans pockets. I suppose if I had a really baggy pair of jeans, it might be fine, but in my current regular sort of normal jeans, nope, not so much. So I think that's an important point there. One other thing I'm going to add about the size of the pants pocket. I think for me they're better in bigger pants pockets. I have found early on it is so obvious that I'm digging around in my pocket for something that I think it gives it away. So I think you need to, again, put in the practice time. When I performed this in public, I utilized what they did in the tutorial, and I used blocking with my spectator to hide that I was fishing in my pocket for the card and was able to get it. So no problem there, but I don't want it to appear as if I'm digging around, so that requires just more practice. When I think about like skill level, this is 100% intermediate level. This is not a beginner level. This is intermediate. So, all right, so let's talk a little bit about who's gonna like it. If you're interested in indexes and you really wanna get into indexes, this is an okay start. With all indexes that are out there, there's some pros and there's some cons, right? And so this is like no different than any of other index, that it's just going to take some time. And so if you like indexes or you're interested in getting into indexes, the best part about this one is the tutorial. You might not like the index. If you don't like the index, I would say get another index or make your own index. In fact, what I would say to almost everybody is like, you can make your own index. And so think about what would work for you and start building your own index that's going to work for you. All right, I think people who are going to like this are the people who are willing to put in the time and practice. If you already have an index, I would not recommend, go get this one. If you have an index that you like, stick with it. All right, the cost, as I mentioned earlier, in the United States is $75. I think it's a little bit expensive for an index, quite frankly. Yeah, it feels a little more expensive. I don't know what the right price would be. Like, obviously there's production costs involved with this. Probably $50 would be ideal or the sweet spot for me. But at $75, you have to make a decision if that's the right price for you. Let's just do some level setting here. Bottom lines here is, does it do what it is advertised to do? The answer is yes. But it will take a lot of practice, as I stated, to get there. Do not have 100% confidence every single time that I have the card. I hope that gets better with time, but I can't say at this moment that I'll get to a place where it's going to be 100%. Aces are not part of the index, as I mentioned earlier. I just don't think that's an issue because you can put your aces in other pockets and it'll still work. Critics have said it's flimsy. Yes, it's flimsy, but or it certainly looks a little bit flimsy, but if it does the job, I don't care if it feels flimsy. Does it do the job? That's a better place to focus on this. I think I've already asked about that. And it's demonstrated when you look at the tutorials and on the teasers, it functions as advertised, okay? I think that's pretty much it for me. I would have to say, like, there's so much hype here. And for viewers out there, like, I know we complain about hype, myself included. I don't like to see products overhyped. And this one definitely got hyped. But let's not be critical of the folks who are selling it and overhyping it. They're in a business. And if you own a business, your job is to sell and to make profits. So what are they going to do? They're going to hype up a product. We should not be so naive as consumers and ignore that that is what is in play. Anybody that you're going to that sells the product makes a profit from the product, is the creator of the product, is the distributor of the product, those folks will always care about making profits. Doesn't mean they don't care about the community as well, but there's an element of profit there, and that will drive hype. You should ignore those and make sure that you're coming to reviewers to get a perspective that's based in the real world. And I know you all have your favorite reviewers. I hope I'm your favorite reviewer. But make sure you're going to your favorite reviewers to check those out. And as much as I dislike the hype, I understand that, look, they're in a business. Their job is to make profits. So that's what they're going to do. And I don't fault them for that. What else do I want to say? Oh, I really dislike the back and forth between Unbiased Magic Reviews and Lloyd. I sort of hate that it gets to that point. I would say a couple things here is that if you're a creator of a product, you can expect not everyone's going to like it. And you just have to go with it. I understand if people are making false claims about a product, the false claims should be addressed directly. I don't have any issues with that. I think if you're a magic product reviewer, you gotta have the product to review it. That simple. If you're going to somebody who has not reviewed the product and they don't own the product, and you're going to them for a review, I think you're getting a disservice. So some of you on this channel already know I am a therapist by training, and I will offer it here to both David over at Unbiased Magic Reviews and to Lloyd Barnes. If you need a mediator between the two of you, I'm happy to offer that up. We can do it in private, or we can do it live, pay-per-view right here on the channel, and watch people live, watch the two of you guys while I mediate to see if we can't make things more copacetic in the community and stop the fighting. So I really want to be part of a magic community that is respectful to one another, and we uplift rather than tear down one another. And I know that feelings have been hurt in the process, and I'm sorry that's occurred, but it'd be nice if we could remedy those things. All right, that's it. I hope this is really helpful for folks. I know that, well, let me address one more thing. Is this the fastest index? No, it's not the fastest index. The fastest index that I've seen to date is Don Juan's index, lightning fast, and have seen it live and in person, and noticed nothing in the pockets. So, is it the fastest index out there? I don't think so. But does it matter if it's not the fastest index? It doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you're able to get the card comfortably in a way that feels reasonable to you, so that you have 100% confidence that you're pulling out the right card and then making the choices from there. Those are the important things. This release allows you to get access to the card. I personally don't have 100% confidence that I'm accurately getting that card, and I don't find myself getting it super fast based upon which card is called. Certain cards are easy. I could probably do it in 2 seconds or 3 seconds. Other cards are going to take me 5 to 10 seconds. So that's my experience today. All right, as soon as I shut off the camera, I'll probably remember something else to talk about. So that's it for now. From me, leave a comment down below what your thoughts are. Would love to hear your thoughts. If you have decks, let me know what your experience is so far. I'm going to stand by my point of view. Practice, 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 and that should make it better, but maybe not 100%. All right? Like the video, subscribe, leave a comment. All right, thank you everybody for being here. I genuinely appreciate it. I'm FiddlinJonny, and remember to keep fiddling around with your magic. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.